Hey, what's up guys? In this tutorial, we will go through the steps to install Tailwind CSS in your React application. So with Tailwind CSS, you can rapidly build modern websites using a predefined set of classes that you can compose into your React components, making the styling process seamless and so much easier to maintain. Let's start by installing the dependencies. In my case, I already have React and Webpack installed. So the most seamless way would be to install Tailwind as a post CSS plugin. Yeah, you can see from the Tailwind CSS documentation, I selected here using post CSS installation. If you need to install React, you can head over to my first video where I show how to install React from scratch, step by step. So you'll find the link in the description. Yeah, also as you can see from my editor, I already have the React component implemented. So if you want to start from where I am now, you can just clone my repo from GitHub. Also for that, I'll put the link in the description. All right, let's start with the actual implementation. So the first thing I want to do is to open a new terminal, and I want to actually install Tailwind CSS. So by following the guidelines, I can write npm install Tailwind CSS. We need post CSS and auto prefixer. Okay. Okay. Let's clear the console. The next thing, we want to initialize the configuration files. So to do that, I'll go ahead and type npx tailwind css init. And as you can see on the left-hand side, tailwind config file has been created. We need to create a further file for a configuration file for post CSS. So let's go ahead and create one file. Post CSS config.js, copy the content of the configuration file from the installation. I'll just copy over here. Okay. And now we head over to Tailwind config.js file. Okay. And we need to tell Tailwind CSS which kind of content we'll be using. And just copy the same configuration from the installation tutorial right there. So we will be telling that Tailwind CSS to be looking to content there is inside the source folder, like here, and to look for HTML and JS files extensions. Right. The next thing is to add the Tailwind directives to your CSS. So I'll go ahead and create a main CSS file inside the source folder, main.css. Okay. And start importing the directives. We will import the base. Okay. Components, and we want utilities. All right. Okay. I think we have everything we need to start working and using the Tailwind CSS classes in our project. What we need to do is to start the build process. Yeah, in the website, they mention npm run dev. If you're not sure which command you need to run, click on package.json under scripts. Actually, see what is gonna build for you. In my case, I have start, so I just type npm run start. Let's wait. All right, we're ready. So yeah, the first thing we want to do, we need to import the CSS in our root file. So let's just about importing the main.css. Yeah, sorry, I need to define the relative path. Yeah, as you can see here on the right hand side, the style has already changed because now we are using the Tailwind CSS classes. Of course, now we want to build on top of that. Yeah, first of all, I want to go ahead and style the checkboxes. They're a bit all together, very close. I want to separate the label from the checkbox. Um, so let's go on to do items. Let's add some padding to the labels. So let's add class name. Class name is where we pass all the the class names. So let's define text size and font weight. Font normal. So I want to style the input now, the checkbox. So let's give it some style so we don't rely on the browser vendor predefined style. Class name. Let's give it some width. Oops. Just fine. Same as this. So it's a bit bigger. Also the border, I want it to be thicker. Right, as you can see, things are changing. And let's define our own border color. I like this color, for example. Okay, seems fine. 91, 91, 91. Let's add a bit of border radius. And okay, all these classes, when we will add some contrast, will come into handy. Next thing, I want to separate them a little bit, the checkbox and the label. So let's define a div and a div here as well, closing tag. Class name. I want to add some margin and some padding. Okay, maybe too much, but let's see. Let's see for now. I want to use flexbox and I want to use gap, right? And some padding to, not to have them sitting very close to the edge of the browser. Okay. I want to add some background. Oops. Yeah, of course, because it's outside the quotation marks. All right, some nice background. And let's give some contrast. Okay. Let's make it white. Okay, way better. And Now I want to add some hover effect. So when I hover the cursor, I want to see which item I'm hovering. So we can use hover. Some background. Okay, now we have the hover effect, and I want to make it a bit rounded. Okay, now we have some border radius here. Yeah, should be it for now, at least for the item list. The next thing I want to, yeah, add some styling to the header. So first of all, I don't like the header here in the index file. Let's move it to the to-do up component. Okay, let's put it here. Okay, let's add some style. I want to make it a bit bigger, so let's do text for Excel. Okay, way better. For now, the text is fine. I want to add it central and a bit bolder. All right. That should be enough for now. And also I want to make everything central, not only the title, but also the input, which are going to style soon. Let's define some classes for the wrapper component. Let's add some padding. Sorry. Okay, way better, so it doesn't stretch all the way. So it looks a bit organized, and then when I want to add the width, I want the width to be 3/4 of the screen. Okay, it's already better. Cool. And I also don't like the title. I want like a better statement, like let's get things done. Way better. Okay, now let's focus on the input field, okay? And let's make it a bit nicer. So in the add item, yeah, first of all, I want to update, like change the div into a form so we can actually have the unsubmit event handled. So when we hit enter, then the item is gonna be added. Otherwise, without a form, every time I need to add the click button. So form. And the first thing you want to do if you have like a custom handler, like in our case, we need to prevent the default behavior, which is to submit the form and refresh the page. So we want to have the unsubmit event to use this handler and to prevent default. Okay. Now let's add some style. Class name. Some automatic width. I want some margin top. Okay. And now we want to do something like styling the button. We want to make it a bit nicer. Yeah, first of all, we want to kind of swap the button with the input field. So let's render it first. Okay. And let's actually render a plus. And let's start with styling the button. So let's add some class name. We want a background which is a bit nicer, like it's white on white, we don't see anything. So I want to add some orange. This should do. Okay. Of course, now we want to have over effect. Mm-hmm. So when we are hovering, the color is going to change. So it gives more feedback. Text we want to be white on orange. Make it bigger. Some padding. And let's give it some margin. All right, way better. Let's make it a bit rounded. And text size should be base, right? Okay, now we can take care of the input. I don't like this placeholder. Let's make it more general, the task, more concise. Now we want to do some custom styling. So what we want to do is to have the button and the input to look like they belong in, like to look like the button inside the input, which is like a nice pattern to have. So let's achieve that with Tailwind CSS. First of all, we want to remove all the default borders from the browser. So I want to start with no border. No outline. Overflow, for now it's not needed. Okay, so we cleared the default behavior of the input. So we start with no borders because we will define them inside the form. So to make it look like the button is in the same input border. So to do that, yeah, first of all, let's add some border. Okay. Let's add some color. Should be darker. Right. Now we want to style the focus behavior. So when we click inside the input to add a task, it is focus within, and then we define the border color. We want them to be a bit darker when we focus. Okay, so now if you see it, yeah, sorry, it's a bit lighter. It should be fine as long as, yeah, it changes the color when we focus. And add a bit of margin. And also we want to be rounded. Okay, so it's nicer. And yeah, the input has a bit of overflow here. So in the input, we need to define overflow hidden. Okay. And the background should be transparent. Okay, now it's fixed, as you can see. So we need to use Flexbox to align the input with the button. Now they sit on different lines. So we need to use Flex. Okay, way better. Okay, it's fine for now. Now we have the the focus effect, sorry. So we can style the checkboxes behavior when they're checked. I also want to be orange background as the button and to have a bit of thickness for the strike through line as well. So let's see how we can do that. Let's head over to do items and let's style a bit the checkbox. So to do that, we need to add accent. And to add the same orange color. All right. That should do. Okay. And strike through line a bit thicker. Let's define the class name. Decoration 2. Okay. Yeah, now it's a bit nicer. Okay. Okay, I want to add some background here. So let's add some background. Let's add a div. I want to have a background which is dark. I forgot the tag. Okay, now it's a nice contrast. I want to cover the rest of the page, right, better. And as you can see here, yeah, it's responsive as well. Now let's make it this a bit whiter. So let's make it okay, now I want to add a bit of styling, like if we want to have some padding here in the input, because it's too close together, and then it should be here. Okay. Think here. Okay, way nicer. And also the form has some margin already, but I also want some padding. Okay, way better. As you can see now, the elements are not too tight together. Okay, now let's see what happens if I enter something. So you can see the text is yeah, it's black, so I cannot distinguish from the background, and um, he needs a text also. I think here it's missing. Let's add some contrast. Yes, way better. Okay. Learn. And it enter now. It adds the item to the list. One other thing is that mm, I want the new element to be at the top of the list, not at the bottom. So what needs to happen is, I think it's the to-do app. So what we are going to do is on add item handler. I want to use items unshift. So it will add the new item at the top, at the start of the array. Okay, and this updates the array itself. So I just need to do like this. Let's add a refresh. All right, and now the new element will be displayed at the beginning. Okay, this is basically it. Actually, one other thing I want to fix, yeah, as you can see, there is no check if the new task is empty. So we can add another check here. So to start adding item only if description is set. Okay. So the refresh. Okay. Now I cannot add before I enter something. So as you can see, it looks so much better now compared to where we started. In this video, I've shown you how to use Tailwind CSS to style your React app. And yeah, if you find the video useful, please give a like and subscribe to the channel to receive more tutorials moving forward. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, please let me know by leaving a comment down below. And yeah, I will also post the code to my GitHub repo. So I will also add the link to the description of this video. All right, that's all for now. Cheers.